All right. Well, hello everybody. Welcome. It is my third State of the College address. Time flies quickly as you're having fun. And it is so great to see so many of you come to hear the presentation, which is being recorded and it will be posted in our website. I'd also like to acknowledge the people that are on the other side. I think we have about 25 or so connected to the internet, listening to the presentation. So that's good. A lot of stuff has happened since we last made the State of the College address, and I always have the same problem over and over again. I have a lot of stuff I want to tell you, but I've been told that I should not be more than 1 hour. And I want to leave time for questions. I'll go relatively quickly through the first part of the presentation. I basically have two main topics to talk to you about. I want to give you an update on the numbers, and I want to give you an update on what's happening with the long-range strategic plan. Surprise, right? We had the class of 2013 showed up. This year is green. Last year was, I think it was red, and the year before that was yellow. And strong class, not as big as we wanted, but a very good class nonetheless. I'd like to start by saying that change is a fact of life, and many organizations go through change, and Keuka College has its fair share of change. And no area has been more affected by change than enrollment management in the college. And I'd like to thank the enrollment management team, staff, for their willingness to work together with our consultant, Credo, and to move forward. I can tell you that the Credo folks are very impressed right from the get-go with our enrollment management team, their hard work, dedication, strong sense of teamwork. So thank you for doing that important work. I also heard from Credo, I think they call it Credo, group that all of you that participated in the master plan, they're also very, very happy by the participation, the discussion, the suggestions, and I would thank you for all of that. So with that, let me just go right into the numbers. And this is something that we do every year. And I start by saying, how is the enrollment in the home campus here in the United States? Actually, this is home campus and ASAP. Well, as you can see, we're slightly down from last year, about 11 students total. The numbers for ASAP are full-time equivalent. And this is my usual chart. You might remember there are 5 numbers. The number in the center of the arrow is today's number, this year's number. The top left number is the highest we ever had. The bottom left is the lowest we have for the last 6 years. And the top right is the goal for this year. And the bottom right is the average of the last 6 years. So we use that as a guide as we move along. The new students on campus, it's down. We wanted a total of, I think this number is wrong. I think this was 280 students, freshmen and transfers. We are down a little bit. Again, the highest we had was back in 2010 when we had 342, and the lowest is this year. This is a serious problem, and we are very concerned about and very cautious, because we have to live with this number for the next 5 years, or 4 years at the very least. In terms of international students here on campus, it's also slightly down. We wanted to bring about 90, and 75 showed up. We we're still refining this model. It's too early to tell what should be the right number. But I'll tell you more about that a little bit later on when I talked about the enrollment management strategic plan. In terms of retention, we also saw a little dip in there. So we have been doing great. This is first year retention, so from freshman to sophomore. And we saw a dip this year of almost 2%. Again, our goal is to be in the 82% time frame. I think this is in the next 5 years. That's our goal. The discount rate for freshmen went down, and this is one of the goals that we had, to bring it down. It had been at 56% in 2011, and the lowest it's been in 2008. It was about 46.9%. We still don't know what the goal should be. We're working with our consultants when we work on the long-range, the enrollment management, strategic enrollment plan. So we could determine what would be the comfortable number to put in there to shoot for. But it's going down, and that's good. The discount rate overall is also going down slightly, and that's also good. The endowment is going up, and that's also very good. The goal that we had was about $10.4 million. We almost made it. These years we have 9.7 million, which is the highest it has been in the last 6 years. Okay, the lowest was in 2009. That was about $5 million. And the average on the last 6 years is around 6.2 million, which is what we use to draw from the endowment. So we draw about 5% from that number to put it into the operating budget. So those are the numbers for you. Some of the main numbers. We have all other numbers that we keep track of, but this is the numbers that are the most critical. And we have four of those going down and 3 of those going up. Obviously, we want to see this screen as green as possible, and that's our goal. The long-range strategic plan is addressing specifically all these issues. And I'd like to begin that section of my presentation by giving thanks to the community again, especially the campus community, that all the individuals that serve in the long-range strategic planning steering committee, about 30 of them, including staff, faculty, students, trustees, and administrators. We have done a great job. The steering committee has been disbanded now, and 5 subgroups have been created. And we call in these subgroups the Making It Happen subgroups. We have a group looking at academic affairs for the academic strategic plan, student success, strategic enrollment, advancement, and the master plan. I'll give you a brief on each one of those, but I will focus more on the master plan because that's the one that is most advanced of those 5 plans. Just to remind you, there are 4 goals, and we actually are using these keywords to refer to them. So engaged, innovative, global, and sustainable are the main 4 goals, and each of those goals have about exactly 5 initiatives, so that total 20 initiatives. We have the summary document available on the website, and we will send a note to remind you where to find it. And we are busy working on the longer document that will spell out how we are implementing each of the initiatives. Even that longer document, I think, is about 30 pages long. So that's not a huge document. It'll be ready within a week. Correct? This story? Thank you. Let me tell you about the academic action plan. This plan has been put together headed by Ann Weed, and the group is made out of the division chairs, program directors, and a faculty member at large from the Long-Range Strategic Planning Steering Committee. And and I believe the chair of the curriculum committee is a member of that. And they have been making good progress in the plan, and important work is being carried out. Here are some of the highlights. The group is addressing the initiatives 6, 7, 8, and 9. Those have to do with curriculum. They're also very busy working on a digital minor, or digital in quotes, because we don't have a name for that minor yet. But this is a group that is spearheaded by Tim Sellers. You guys meet, I believe, every Friday, and that's very exciting what's going on there. So it's going to be 5 courses, and it will be a minor available for any student in the college. That's great progress. There's another group that is also meeting weekly, looking at the outcomes, defining the learning outcomes for the global initiative. There are 2 working groups from the faculty focusing on revisiting the governance structure and the faculty workload. And there are also discussions about the new expectations for scholarship. As you may remember, the college is now a master small college in the Carnegie classification, and that has a different definition of the scholarship expectation from the faculty. So there's another group working on that. Finally, the academic affairs, together with student development, put together a committee to look at the student success. Basically, it's a plan for retention and for making sure that students graduate and succeed here at Keuka College. The advancement plan, it's been helped by a couple of consultants. They hired a Paula Peter, which is she owns a company called the Solstice Group from Ithaca. And what she's doing is doing a feasibility study for a capital campaign, okay, which we need to embark if we want to implement the strategic plan as defined. But also she had a consultant coming in to help us with the branding exercise and define a marketing framework. And that's very important. And this work is to be completed by the end of November, and it will be presented to the community in December. This is very important because it allows us to have the same talk when we describe the Keuka experience. And is a talk that is badly needed when we talk to individuals outside the college. I believe the group is going to meet next week to start discussing these 2 plans. The Student Success Plan, this group actually has been working since spring, when Credo gave us the 46 recommendations for retention and student success. They analyzed those recommendations and they folded into 23, deleted a couple, added a couple new ones. They make sure that all of those items are referenced by the key performance indicators in the long-range strategic plan. And they also have a well-defined action plan with timing, the criticality of the various action items, who is responsible, and what are the resources that are required for implementation. So this plan is also quite further along. Okay, so let me now focus on the master plan. This group is headed by Jim Hiller. By the way, each of these plans is being headed by a vice president. So we have 5 plans, and each one is headed by a vice president. So this one is headed by Jerry Hiller, and in addition to the physical plant, it's a group that is looking at infrastructure, both physical, IT, but also the culture and the HR issues, um, providing services for the students, for example, the one-stop shop report that they put together. But the most exciting part that they're doing is the master plan, and we have right now pretty much ready to prioritize the items on what we call phase one. The master plan, as you will see in a minute, if we implement it all, requires anywhere from 150 to 200 million dollars for the next 10 years. And phase one is what we are calling low-hanging fruit, and that's getting close to $5 million. But it's some things that we must do, that we can do, and they will probably happen within the next year. I'd like to focus on that in a minute. So the phase one has these 6 components. I thought there were 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I must have merged a couple of them together. First of all, the lakefront. Okay, we should be able to capitalize on things that are given to us for free. The lake is free. It's there. We're here. So there's some exciting things happening there that I will share with you in a minute. But the main focus there is to and provide a sense of place for the community in addition to the living and learning. This is more like recreation and gathering spaces. Engaging the students. This is our top priority. This is providing spaces for students to get more involved, provide leadership, discover, have learning spaces that will allow for innovation and integration as a learning community. It's also learning and living connected. So it has to do with the residence halls as well. The learning commons, it's to provide a space that is geared for collaboration, more engagement, that is very digital, very high tech, and allows for integration of student learning. Resident halls, again, associated with living and learning, and engaging the community through the arts sense of place, what we're now calling Keuka Commons. And I'll spend time on each one of those. But I want to make sure that we all understand that this is why we're doing it. We're doing the master plans with the focus of student success at Keuka, with access to quality academic, the first and last year experience, integration of social living and as well as academic aspects of being here, instill a sense of belonging and identity, and to promote third places that engage the community, and that's had to do with the lake and maybe connections with the town and the Keuka Commons. The next pictures are very busy, and I'm going to apologize. It's your fault for sitting way on the back, and there's plenty of space up front. But we will put it on the web, and you have probably seen some of these pictures. But the first one has to do with the renovation of the residence halls. And primarily we're talking about space and Saunders. We're not sure what we're going to do with Blightly. Anything that you see in orange here, it's new construction or addition. So one of the ideas we have for the residence halls is to add another floor to those two buildings, as well as with a wing that kind of hangs, I don't know if you could see my pointer here, which will contain faculty apartments. That's an idea that we are putting together. In addition to that, we want to make the social spaces, the lounges, more up to date, if you see what I mean. So in this picture, we have pictures of the various lounges as they are today and the outside of the buildings. and how they might look into the future, as well as here. Okay, this is probably how the apartments for the faculty might look like. All right, that's our first focus there. The second one is one that is very exciting, and it has to do with creating a space that is available 24/7 for the students to work on. And we think that the best place for this is adjacent to the library. So if you look at this little, it's like almost like a trapezoid building sticking out of the library, that's what we're talking about. That would be the ideal solution. And there will be spaces for you working alone, for you working together, for you working in private, for you working in public, with state-of-the-art facilities for the students to do work. Now, this is a very exciting idea that we don't want to wait until we are able to build this space here. And one proposal that is out there, and I underline the word proposal because we haven't made the decision yet, although we're leaning that way, is to take the southwest corner of the library and put a glass wall in there and open a door here so that this could become the 24/7 space. Independent entrance, you know where the box is for returning books, that would be the entrance to that space. Okay, this seems to be doable. We need to have more conversations with our folks from the library to see how we relocate what's in there. But what's in there already is a bunch of workstations and computers. We also think that we might make better use of this space by providing new seating areas for the students and along here as well as there. So this is low-hanging fruit. This is something that the students will appreciate right immediately and will benefit from. It might not be that very expensive to do. The idea is to provide spaces for students to collaborate, to study together. Their own space, 24/7. There won't be anybody guarding that space. And we hope that the computers don't walk away. One idea that we are playing with is that we won't provide computers. We provide access. Students bring their computers, and we provide screens and display surfaces, connectivity, and stuff like that. And that's probably more real than what you might think. Okay? I feel that I'm rushing, but I want to make sure that I give you time for questions. The next one has to do with the student center, which we call the geyser. The students call it the geyser. You know why the students call it the geyser and not Dahlstrom Hall? Because that's what it is. It is a long corridor to where the food is, which is the geyser. So we want to change that. We want to make a space that is really useful for student activities and take everything that is not related to student activities out. So the bookstore, the security office, and even the Terrace Cafe, we plan to take them out and put it into the new development that we're thinking across the street called the Keuka, that's being called the Keuka Commons. So Dahlstrom, here are some of the ideas. We will renovate that space where the bookstore is. We don't know what that might be, as well as where the Terrace Cafe is, but there are proposals to add additions to the building towards the lake. Okay? I have no idea what that might be, but our consultants think that the space for the size of the campus it's small. Okay, even by repositioning the bookstore, is still small. And the idea is that we will have state-of-the-art spaces where students can do activities that students do, clubs and things of that nature. Okay, there will be a walkway from the Dahlstrom into the lakefront. which right now we don't have. Okay. Um, let's see, and then the next thing is the lake. What are we going to do here? So one thought was, let's close the road to traffic. And after many conversations, we said, well, that might not really work. But the consultants are saying, well, we could design it in such a way that the traffic has to slow down. And that's the decision that we just made. The idea that we have is to have a boathouse, nice boathouse here that may accommodate for a restaurant, as well as a true boathouse, maybe 2 or 3 story high, and an amphitheater like seating with a pavilion for outside concerts and things of that nature. And you can see examples of that, I think it's here. And all the places around for students to sit down and work and do a recreation as well as contemplation and work. Why not? This is also probably relatively inexpensive. So this might be one of the projects that we could also do relatively quickly. Okay? And then finally, it's the Keuka Commons. And this is very exciting. All these buildings that you see here, this is Central Avenue. This is Assembly Line. So the idea is that we want to make the main entrance to the college Assembly Line. You see Bow Hall here in this picture? Apologize for the guys on the back. I know this is kind of a small picture. But the idea is to have a college town atmosphere going into the main entrance to the college. Okay? The beauty of this, and this is where the post office is, or was, or it won't be. There's an arts and performance center over here. There's the definition of a business school over here, together with some industry incubators. That's in the plan. The beauty of this is that you could use somebody else's money to do this. So the idea is to have perhaps a small hotel in there, some small shops, restaurants, the bookstore located here, maybe run by a local vendor from Penyan. We all know who that is. So, etc. This is exciting because it provides opportunity for investors and other individuals to come in. The more we hear is that, and I heard this the other day at a conversation, they say, universities are not in the business of being hospitalities and hotels. The colleges and universities are in the business of learning and scholastic work and knowledge, creation of knowledge and dissemination of knowledge. So why do you own dorms? Somebody else should own the dorms. Residence halls. And so the idea is that you have private investors build residence halls, and they reap the benefits, not the college. So we are very seriously investigating that possibility. Remember that for us to do anything major, it's like a domino effect. So for the bookstore to move out of there, we have to build a bookstore over here. All right? For us to start renovating the residence halls, then we have to have a place to put the students in the meantime. Okay? And then if we're going to build more capacity for residence halls, then we have to plan to build the enrollment. Okay? And the idea is that these plans will increase the enrollment, will increase the appetite for the students to be here, but it will also increase retention, which is what we are all about. We are here to create productive citizens and leaders to serve the world today and tomorrow, not to see them fail. Okay, and that's why we're so excited about this. Some people have told me, you are dreaming, put your feet on the ground. And I say, well, listen, unless you aim high, you won't even shoot midway. And this is a project for the next 10 years. These are just ideas for conversation. We're going to start picking up some of these projects and going around the region, the country, with foundations, potential donors, and start raising the funds that are going to be needed to do this. There's three things that we can do. Find donors, borrow money, or take it out of our own operating budgets. Okay? And that one is the least likely, okay, because we don't have a lot of surpluses. So the first two is the one that we're going to have to. Donors, including foundations, as well as borrowing some money. I want to show you a video, but I'm going to do that last, once I finish with my presentation. I'm about 30 minutes into it, so that's pretty good. So moving forward, we should never forget why we're here. And even though we have a slight different definitions of what liberal education might be, our foundation is a liberal arts-based education. We may not be a full-fledged liberal arts only college, but we have a liberal arts based education for everything we do. And the more I read about it, the more I'm convinced of this quote, that it exists for the advancements of the public good. I have everything I look, everything I read supports the creation of leaders and the service to humanity. That's why we're here. So, immediate attention, enrollment and retention. That should be our mantra, enrollment and retention. That's why we're here, for the students to succeed. We must be able to create a fit into what the students want and what we should provide. Provide engagement for the students to want to be here and to be able to succeed. In terms of the physical plant, capture what is free. Our location is free. We need to capture that. We need to really be creative. When we do deferred maintenance, we should plan ahead. So if we're going to fix a building, then we need to make sure that that building is going to stay in our plans for many, many, many years. Okay? But at the same time that you provide the facilities that students of today want, at the same time you're addressing deferred maintenance, if you see what I mean. I don't want to patch a building. I want to make that building great, and you address both. And as I said earlier, we should try to focus on using other people's money. Enrollment, as I said, is an issue, and it's an issue not just for our college. And the Chronicle of Higher Education did, and I apologize for the quality of this chart. I couldn't get the original chart, and you cannot read there. What they did is they did a survey of about 292 CIC institutions, independent colleges, that had a dip in their enrollment in the past year. And then they asked the questions, what are you doing about it? And they gave them these choices. You are raising the discount rates. In other words, reducing what the student pay. These are about 20% of the people that responded said they're doing that. And a college might be doing more than one of those things. Layoffs, early retirement. Some colleges are doing that. Eliminate low enrollment academic programs. Some colleges are doing that. Start new programs. More colleges are doing that. Put more resources into marketing. Improve enrollment management operations. That's the biggest one. About 80% of them said that's what they're doing. Reduce campus services. Some of them are doing that to balance the budgets, and many others. We are happy to say that we are doing exactly these three, even before this report was published. We are improving the enrollment management operations, we are putting more resources into marketing, and we are starting new programs or or changing the way that some of the existing programs are presented and they are defined. Okay, so over that, we are in the right track, and I have a lot of confidence that we will really be able to succeed and move forward. I wanted to thank everybody in the college. I am pretty happy to see the faculty and staff to go above and beyond the day work, and sometimes they stay late, maybe like today, to attend a committee meeting, to attend a president's presentation, even sometimes to devote part of the weekend to work on the long-range strategic plan or the middle state accreditation, or to participate in an event like an open house. So that is very encouraging, and I really thank you for your efforts in that. And I had a conversation with the cabinet last week, and as a token of appreciation, we have made the decision to close the college, not just Christmas Day, but also Christmas Eve, December 24th, and December 23rd. So the college will be closed those 3 days so that the community can enjoy time with their families and rest and come back fully charged in January to take the activities forward. So, thank you. Thank you. So from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate the response that we have experienced from the staff and the faculty. I'd like to make sure that we have time for some questions, and before that, and then after that, I'd like to show you a little video. But if you have some questions, I believe there are 1 or 2 microphones in the back, so around. So please, this is the time. I hope I didn't go too fast. There's a lot of pictures. Those pictures will be available on the website, I forgot to say that the 3D model of the college is available for viewing in the Alumni Lounge in Ball Hall. I believe we are trying to find another space for that, right? In the library maybe, or something more accessible. Questions, comments, concerns? You like the plan? Laura. Wait for the mic, because there are people on the internet that...
Yeah, I was just wondering, you presented lots of beautiful ideas for new study spaces and dorm spaces, and I'm wondering about classroom space. I know at least in the sciences, we're feeling a little cramped for lab space, and I know there's been a talk of trying to increase student enrollment campus-wide, which will we'll need more academic classroom spaces perhaps as well. I was wondering if you have thoughts about that.
Very, very good question. A new, I think we call it science quadrant. It's on phase 2 or 3. But in the renovation of the residence halls, there are going to be classrooms in those residence halls. I believe it's 1 on each, right, Jerry? I don't remember exactly. But phase 1, there are going to be 2 or 3 classrooms. But in the subsequent phases, Allen Hall is going to be turned down, and as well as probably the one next where education is, what's it called? Strong Hall might also be turned down, and then a new academic quad. I think we're calling it the science quad, because it's going to be adjacent to Jepson. Yes, it's in the plan, right, but it's not prominent in phase 1. I apologize. Yes. Anybody else? You all want to see the movie, right? Pat, please.
So mine is kind of related to that previous question, and you made the comment that you don't want to, well, you didn't say it this way, but you don't want to throw bad money after good, or good money after, how does that statement go, Mike? Good money after bad, that's the way it goes. Wasting money on spaces that
might disappear.
Such as Strong Hall, that we shouldn't be wasting money on. Those of us who are living in that space are a little concerned about that statement in
Yeah.
terms of a space that's not good.
Yes.
So what are we doing in the meantime?
Ah, do you have an answer for that question, Jerry? We talked about it. We talked about it because it's not going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years, or even maybe even 4, before we get to that. There will be some. Once we build the hope that we have is that the Keuka Commons will get built with private money, and that the business enterprise that we want to put in there will allow us to build the business school building. And then they can move out of Hageman, and then the domino starts moving, and then education can move back into Hageman. I think the plan is for education to move into Hageman's, right? Yeah. So that's part of the domino. Yeah. Once one of the first one falls, then we start moving the other parts. But education doesn't have to wait for the new building for them to have a better space. We plan to move them to Hageman. Yes, Amy. Get a mic, please.
I don't know if this helps or not, but so part of the feasibility study is that the consultant will go out and test different ideas with different donors. And so we will be writing the case for support. We're starting to make the rounds where we go around and talk to each of the department chairs to find out what's happening in your departments, what are some of the things that you need. And then in concert with Credo, they're going to provide graphics for us and things of that nature so we can start testing those ideas. So that if there is somebody who happens to be very passionate about education, in particular, the education division, and they want to build a building, that will change the order in which we do things. So obviously, if we have a donor, it could be that comes first. It's really going to be dependent upon how well we can work together to create the marketing materials and get the word out there that these are some of the critical projects that the college has during this campaign.
The beauty of a strategic plan and the master plans like this is that it gives you a direction in which to improvise. And that's exactly what will happen. So we will have to improvise, and we won't necessarily do things exactly the way that we thought it was going to be because of circumstances. But at least you have a framework within which to do that improvisation, almost like playing jazz.
Exactly, and Wayne LaChase built the education building on U of R campus. Bill Goodrich is on our board, so don't think that we're not going to be talking to him about education.
Actually, we already have 2 or 3 people that have talked to us about building stuff on the Keuka Commons bookstore and things like that. People are saying, "Okay, I'm interested. Call me." All right. Doug.
One of the things that struck me as I was looking at the pieces of the long-range strategic plan and the master plan is, although I think some of us know what the connections might be between the long-range strategic plan and the master plan, those linkages are not always as clear. There are some pieces of the master plan that are not evident or not foregrounded, I guess. And one of the I'm thinking of is the digital learning piece. Okay, digital learning is one of the things that we're focusing on. Being able to be really articulate about how that shows up in the master plan and how that's getting a priority and what are the connections between the priority in the master plan vis-a-vis the ones in the long run strategic plan. The branding is yet to come, but some of the pieces we already know. But so that was the one thing that there didn't seem to be clear, articulated linkages between those pieces. And it strikes me, at least, that that would be something we would want to look at as we refine.
Very good point, and they did take that into account, very much so. I just gave you maybe a 5% of the whole work that they have done. The Learning Commons in the library is going to be fully for digital learning stuff. Every renovation on the residence halls is going to have a lot of digital learning, at least tools and the infrastructure that you might need. Our new CIO, Andrea Campbell, which happens to be online, she has a meeting away from here, is finishing up an IT strategic plan to dovetail the master plan together with implementation of digital learning. So it is there. It probably didn't show up as much in my presentation, but no, they did take that into account, very much so. The problem is that, like I said, so what do you need? You need a room full of computers? And say, no, we don't need a room full of computers. We need spaces where people can collaborate and talk and touch screens and see things and interact. That's what we need. I don't want a room full of computers. That would be the worst. And they listened to that. They did. Good point. Thank you, Doug. Somebody else? We have a question from the internet. Somebody have to read it because I can't see it here. That's always the Keuka way. What are you talking about? You saw that I had a phrase there, first year experience and last year experience. The last year experience is an idea that we are, it's a conversation that we're starting to talk and said that we're starting to have. And say, what if we have a last year experience which will provide the environment and the tools that the graduate will need for his or first job. Okay? In addition to the knowledge and the skills that is needed, the other things that you need to go to the real world. It doesn't answer the question that is probably the real question behind that, but as far as I can tell, Keuka has always focused on people being able to be productive citizens with the field periods and the professional programs that we have. So that's always been part of who we are. And we should do more than that, more on that and that area. Probably the academic action plan should look into that, make it more prominent. One more question? Yes, please.
Perhaps I missed it, but this seems very focused on the traditional campus and getting traditional students engaged.
Yeah.
How does ASAP fit into this?
Good. That's an excellent question. And I always started the meetings in the long-range strategic plan and with the master plan guys that we should not forget what we have in upstate New York and in Asia. Okay? But in terms of facilities, we can't do anything about it in upstate New York or Asia. We don't own the buildings. In terms of curricular plans, very much so. In the academics plan and digital learning and all of that, ASAP is within what we want to impact. But in terms of facilities, if you see what I'm saying, we can't go to Anandaya Community College and say, oh, we need a new digital room. Maybe we can. But we haven't thought about that. And don't get me wrong, we're not forgetting ASAP. That's always a very important component of what we do. And it's probably going to be even more important into the future.
Will they transition to campus in one of those buildings?
Oh, you mean the offices? Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you're, oh, I see what you meant. Is that what you meant? I thought you meant the students. Huh? Yeah, and if you look at the model that we have in the Alumni Lounge, in the Keuka Commons, there is one building for the ASAP offices. Yes, but we'd like them to be located here. When it's not in the phase one yet, unless things change. We get a donor that is interested. Yes, thank you. Good point. Anybody else? Oops. All right, so I'm going to finish up, but we got 10 minutes left, and I think I have a 5-minute movie that I want to show you. And what I have to do, I think, let me go up here first. Dream. That's Assembly Avenue. Crossing Central Avenue. No cars. Ooh, parking is gone. This is the new Science Quad. There'll be 2 buildings. This is Jepson. Okay? See if you notice something missing in this. That's another floor to the library, possibly. That's the Learning Commons. It's going to be a glass structure. You could see what's going on in there from outside. It's going to be independent entrance. That's the future. But in the meantime, we're going to build something. We're going to try to build something inside the library. The light colors are new stuff, light orange. So the top of, which one is that, Blightly? That's Harrington. Saunders. This is another area we're going to add to the student center for student activities. Again, open glass. That's the 3rd floor to Saunders. That's the faculty apartments right here. Another floor to Space. Faculty apartments here. We don't own these houses. That will be the new boathouse. And that's Point Nemo. Is it Nemo that you pronounce it? Nemo. 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 That's the amphitheater with the stage. I'm not sure how many people they are thinking of seating in here, but I don't think it'll be very many. The waterfront development. The first thing that they did, I don't know if you noticed, this is the top floor of the library. Those are the new buildings replacing Strong and Allen. Well, they sold it. The designer is not there. Yeah, you noticed. Okay. Yeah. Now, I didn't say anything about athletics. I believe that's phase 3. And this is a field house, a new turf field here. I believe that's the only 2 things. There's a possibility, this is the Davis, the possibility of 2 new residence halls right there. These are the Keuka apartments. We're going to have a little bit of difficulties in connecting that, but we're going to try. And these are the Strong apartments. That's the master plan for you. Thank you for your attention and your presence here today. And I'm very excited about this. Now we do have a road in which to improvise. Thank you.